Get started there. All right,
Come
ladies
on,
and
man.
gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and denominations, our trip through memory lane with the old series of Thunderstruck has to begin this week with one of the most underrated, well, one half of the most underrated tag teams that South Africa has ever produced, the Coalminers. Now, it was on the CPW Facebook page where it was stated that if the Coalminers were still wrestling today, they would have been picked up by a major organization. You guys were that good. What made the relationship between you and your partner so special?
Good evening, everybody. You know what? We never had a fight between me and him. Even doesn't matter what went wrong, which way. We always looked out for each other,
Right.
and we understand each other. I didn't even have to speak to him and tell him, listen, do this or do that. The way we wrestled and the way everything went, the moment when he's inside the ring, I knew what he wanted to do. The moment when I'm inside, I know what, he knew what I want, what is the setup. And actually, that started now before the Coalminers. We were actually wrestling as the Hillbillies. And
Okay.
so we can, it's a long way. We actually it's like, I think, actually 4 years that we were together wrestling as tag team partners. So it went very well.
Okay.
Even in the singles matches, I was missing him because my partner wasn't there. So
Right.
it was bad. When they told us, hey, there's a singles match, it's like, hey, I need my partner in the corner because it's worse. It's bad to go without your partner somewhere. So it's like, in wrestling you call it when your opponent, you get married to your opponent. But I was married to my partner because what he did, what he did, I did, and we went together, and we never left one another. We were always together.
Right.
Eventually, also, when we went to shows, we traveled together. We didn't travel separate. So that is the way. We were like brothers, and even today, I'm calling him my brother. He's my brother.
Yeah. Tag team people don't understand. They look at tag team wrestling and they think, oh yeah, two guys are just working in tandem, but it's actually a lot more involved with that, more involved than that. What in your opinion makes a good tag team wrestler?
Once again, you must understand each other.
Mm-hmm.
If your partner don't understand you, you can have big mistakes, and it doesn't matter. If you get an opponent that's sometimes stronger than what, like Burshan, meaning we had a tag team, actually a match against Burshan. So the problem we had there was that we had to work together to get Burshan down.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand each other, and if you're not good together, you'll never lost. Although we lost that match, but there's actually photos in Primrose where Burshan, he actually got very bad. He got something like 25 stitches.
Okay.
Because we connected him with a bucket. So but that's what I say. You need to understand each other. There's miscommunication between two people. It's the same like in a wedding. If there's miscommunication between you and your wife, you can't have a perfect marriage.
Right.
And
right.
you must understand each other to be good partners.
Okay. Where did the tag team, now you mentioned the Coalminers, you mentioned the Hillbillies. Where did the hillbilly part of that start before it became the Coalminers?
Well, one night, I can't remember, I think it was Stephen Davis. We had a match and he said he wanted me and Bram, that's on my partner, we must wrestle as the Hillbillies. So he said, okay, we can give it a try. But before that, we were actually practicing together, and so at that moment, actually Bram was still babyface, so I had to help him turn heel a bit. Not it was not so much, but he learned very well and he learned very quick. And fortunately, like I said, our first match was against Burshan, and it worked out very well. And from there on, we decided that is the way. And then when WWP Thunderstrike started, because in South Africa there's no hillbillies here, they changed our names to the Coalminers.
Right.
And so that is where we started. And I believe that the first match was actually so great that they decided, listen, okay, these guys, they need to be the tag team champions.
Yeah.
So that's why we were the tag team champions. We were wearing the belt because there was no misunderstanding. I mean, even we had guys that today I'm looking up to them, although they're youngsters. Steve Eden, I can't remember who was his tag partner, but because they fall apart, that's why me and Bram beat them, because we were the best team in the ring.
Right. And those early matches that you guys had on Thunderstruck, I wouldn't say they were hard hitting, but you guys worked a certain style that hadn't been seen in South Africa in the tag team wrestling, and some of the matches that are in the earlier days you haven't seen it. Was that just was that just a natural progression? Is it just something you fell into, or was it a conscious decision from you guys? Say, hey, listen, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
You know what? Like I said before, or not before, but like I'm a villain, and I don't want the people to like me. So if I go to a place and I say, please sign on my shirt, I'd rather tear the shirt off his body than to sign on his shirt. I don't want to be famous.
Right.
For us to be the tag team champions was actually very bad. Okay, we had to be the champions because we were good, but to be famous out of it wasn't so nice.
Right.
And you know what? If you want to do pro wrestling, I mean, you yourself is a wrestler. You want to do pro wrestling, and you can't take the punishment, leave.
Yeah.
That is the way we were. We were not. I don't like hardcore wrestling. I don't mind doing a hardcore match, but I think you get wrestling, then you get the coal miners, and you get hardcore wrestling, because that is how we were. We didn't hold back. It doesn't matter who you were. That is the way we were.
Of course. Let's talk a bit about your career singularly. Where did your journey in professional wrestling start?
Okay. Let me just come back. Just wait. Sorry.
I'm not going anywhere.
I just want to check now. I've lost now contact.
You got to push the button. Not push the button.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, no, sorry for that. My phone switched off. Okay, I started with Paul Lloyd.
Okay.
It was in the 90s. I'm not sure. I think it was just before 99 or 2000, 2001. I started wrestling as Al Capone.
Right.
So then, after that, so then Stephen came with another great idea, which is also that was actually my best gimmick ever. Vinny Viagra, gay wrestler. Worked up the people, actually worked up the men, not the women. Worked up the men, stopped the men. They didn't like it, but that was me.
Yeah.
Just to give you an image, I had a short jeans, a shirt of a boy of 13 years old. The shirt was sitting here.
Okay.
So my stomach was out everything, and it was like perfect zone. So yeah, not that I got something against gay people, but that is, we had to bring in something like that, and it worked perfect.
Okay.
And so then they came with the hillbilly setup for me and Bram, and so then that's why we started. Well, we were the hillbillies, and then we went over to as the Coalminers.
You mentioned working in the early 90s. Now, as far as I remember, working in the early 90s, you did a lot of matches in the Portuguese Hall, and you did some of the stuff at Lucita Land and a lot of those smaller type venues, but those venues were always packed. I can remember going to some of those venues, and they always were full, no matter if it was during the week or a Friday night or whatever it may be. Where was your favorite place to wrestle? What arena was your favorite place to wrestle?
Durban. We
Durban.
went down to Durban to the 10-year tennis stadium.
Okay.
My best match there was against Playboy Adams. And
Okay.
that night, the police had to escort us out there because we made havoc there. So yeah, but that was my best. That was great. And also to be between those Indians there, and to that was great.
Yeah.
That was great. And then also PE with the Van der West stations. We went down there.
Mm-hmm.
That night also was also very great. The people there also, the moment when there's wrestling, they pitch up like it's going out of fashion.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Durban itself, I mean, there it's getting dark after 9 at night. So that was strange for me to go and wrestle at 10 o'clock at night. The first match it's 10 o'clock at night, so it
Yeah.
was strange. Even there, it was during the week. We pitched up there, and that place is packed.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. It's like, hey, what's going on here? It is, you can't believe it during the week. And like you said, the Portuguese Hall also. But Durban was my best. That was
Well,
the first out stadium I ever saw in my life was there.
wow. Okay. Let's talk about Durban for a hot minute here, because I'd spoken to Jeff Giant Warrior, and I'd spoken to Lance Vaughan. Unfortunately, the Lance Vaughan interview didn't come out like we had wanted to. I need to redo that. But man, they were talking about the Durban crowds, how passionate the Durban crowds is, and um, Giant Warrior was attacked in Durban. Um, a lot of heel wrestlers were attacked in Durban, and I'm sure you were attacked in Durban as well. What is it specifically about? I don't know if it's the weather, or if it's the bunny chows, or what is it about that Durban crowd that they just don't like bad guys?